Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel, and in this latest room temperature jam, I'm going to share with you some data having to do with price action historically for XRP that I think is going to make you very happy. And upon reviewing this information, what it did for me personally is just reaffirm that my investment strategy is absolutely the right approach for me specifically. Because once I buy stuff, I just sit around and do nothing. I know it sounds boring, but it's awesome. For me, it's awesome because I understand that when you look at how people typically treat their crypto holdings, or even how people, because it's the same human DNA, whether they're investing in crypto or stocks, you can look at how people treat tumultuous times when it comes to the stock market. People getting in and out of positions, a little bit of heat, and now they're sweating bullets. They need to be able to sleep at night, so they better sell at a loss. Well, even if you're selling at a tiny bit of a profit and you think that you're gaming the system and you're figuring stuff out because you got your super big brain and you're very smart, data shows that those people that just don't do anything make the most money. Certainly when it comes to the stock market, and it's the same, like I said, same human DNA when it comes to investing in crypto. And so all this data did was reaffirm that exact position. But I will tell you this, XRP is historically, it has mostly been on an upward trajectory. And it's easy to forget that, especially if you're living in a moment where you're in a time period where XRP's, mostly moving sideways. It feels like that, or we're in a down moment. So I don't know how many people are feeling like it exactly now, given that we have seen a notable pop in XRP running from, 36 cents or so all the way up to 58 cents. And now it's around 50 cents at the time that I'm recording this. But still, it's worth being aware of this, and I think that this is very positive. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, I came across the data that I'm about to share with you thanks to this article from crypto media outlet U Today, and they had this headline: XRP price history predicts something big is coming this month. After ending March with a rise of more than 40%, the XRP price entered April with a small fall. At the same time, historical data suggests that it is in the fourth month of the year that the major price action for XRP should occur. Based strictly on previous periods, it is likely to be positive. And by the way, and I'm going to make this data bigger on your screen for you, but this headline has nothing to do with the SEC v. Ripple case. This is just historical data, and historically, April's been a positive month if you're an XRP holder. On average, things have turned out pretty well. So we have that. We know that is the case. That's just data. But then on top of that, we know that any day now we could end up with a ruling from Judge Torres, and it could be very positive, and I can only imagine what that would do in terms of price action. But anyway, let me read a little bit further, and then I'm going to make this data full screen for those of you that care to look. Since 2014, for example, the XRP price has shown double-digit percentage price changes 6 out of 9 times in April. The only exceptions are 2015, 2016, and 2019. In all other years, the XRP price has either skyrocketed or fallen at such a rate as well. Thus, April is one of the 4 best months of the year for the cryptocurrency, with an average price change of plus 32.1%. So let's make this a little bit bigger for you on the screen. For those of you that care to look, and if you want to pause, I encourage you to do so because it is fascinating. You're looking at all of XRP's historic price action from month to month. That's what this is, dating back to 2013, with the first month being tracked August of 2013, all the way through today. And so, of course, April, since that's the month we're in, that month is still fluid, so the percentage there is going to change as time passes. It actually updates in real time here. But it's fascinating to see this. So, again, 6 out of 9 years have been positive for XRP in April. And that's interesting. Okay, it's kind of interesting to see what's the best month for XRP typically. But you know what I found to be even more interesting, and this is what reaffirmed my investment thesis for myself. It's if you just look at the average returns for XRP at the bottom of the screen here. I counted this before recording, so if I didn't mess that up, because I admittedly was counting kind of quickly, I think for 9 out of the 12 months, just the average on the whole, dating back all of the years, 9 out of 12 months result in positive price action. I kid you not, 9 out of 12. Now, it may not feel like that if you've been holding XRP for a number of years in particular. We've had to endure some silly nonsense stuff, and there are some periods of time where sometimes things just are down, like 2018, 2022 wasn't exactly so hot, just for crypto in general. But if you look here, look at all these positive months. This is January through December from left to right. So let's count the positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I counted real quick for recording, like I said. But yeah, that's it. So 9 out of 12 months on average end up being positive. And it's interesting to see that November and December historically are the best on average. Now, it'll be interesting to see as more time passes how this all kind of washes out in the end, because there are only so many data points. The more data points you have, the more meaningful conclusions you can draw from it. But obviously XRP had its biggest run in history at the tail end of December of 2017. So that's a factor. You can see in December 2017, from 1 month to the next, up 818.9%. That's not nothing. So obviously it's going to skew the numbers a bit here, and I understand that. But still, the broader point that I wanted to make is that the trend has been to the upside. That's why most months historically have been to the upside, because directionally, that's the way XRP has always been trending. It's just harder to recognize that and feel it in the moment sometimes. But in fact, and this was interesting too, because I didn't realize this until I did just some simple counting before recording this video, but here now, I've flipped to another tab here. This is the same data, but for Bitcoin. And it was just interesting to note that Bitcoin actually had a little bit of a harder time in terms of the number of months that were positive on average. Only 8 out of 12. So again, for XRP, it was 9 out of 12, but for Bitcoin, just 8 out of 12. Again, I'm going to count this with you right now, just make sure, because I did admittedly count this really quick. But here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 8 out of 12. And that's not to speak negatively about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what's kicked this all up. I'm very fond of Bitcoin. I'm not very excited about it because it's not, technologically it is what it is. And, the people that were going to have the most face-melting wealth accumulated as a result of it existing, well, they've already gotten theirs. Bitcoin is not the best investment vehicle for life-changing wealth in short order. At this point, it's the altcoin. That's my personal opinion anyway, and I've bet accordingly. But so I still like Bitcoin. It's not to crap on Bitcoin here. But but the same concept is still true, and I think that's pretty neat. Most months are up, and that shouldn't be surprising because Bitcoin's been trending up for 14 years. Okay? XRP's continue to do so. Why would you think it's going to stop? If you've got a good case for why, let me know, because I'm just not seeing it, because I just continue to see, a continued adoption of XRP, continued adoption of crypto, and those things happening hand in hand. Well, where do you think if things are going to land another 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road? And that's why it's so exciting to be here, because it won't always be the case that you can just jump into crypto and achieve the types of returns that we're all expecting. And what we're expecting in a general sense, many of us, I don't think it's unreasonable, unless you're talking about the crazy people that believe XRP is going to $122,000. That's bonkers. That ain't happening. But in terms of being able to achieve life-changing wealth for the everyday person, that opportunity is still very real. But if you fast forward a couple decades, not that there wouldn't be an opportunity at that point either, but what I'm saying is it would be more understood that this is a thing. It's not going to be as viewed as risky. More money will be in it. So in terms of a multiplier effect, no, it'll be substantially diminished. It may be no more interesting at that point than investing in stocks, perhaps. That at some point they're going to be about the same in terms of excitement. Now we're nowhere near that, I believe anyway. But it's what a hell of a time to be alive, right? So that's why as unsexy as my investment approach is for me, I'm just going to keep doing it. Literally, it is I buy stuff, including XRP, which last time I purchased XRP was October of 2020, I believe. And that's just because I had a problem. I bought an insane amount, and then I decided if I didn't stop, then seriously, I need some sort of help group or something because I'm spending so much money on. And then I just diversified since then. But my whole strategy, just in general, whatever the coin is, it's just buy and then literally do nothing until one day it will get to a point where I feel that it's worth, a substantial enough percentage of my overall net worth where it's like, okay, it's time to diversify and take some of that risk off the table. And then I'll do that when that time comes, assuming it does. And I'm hoping that it will. I'm very optimistic that it will, because I just see the crypto pie getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All I have to do is precisely nothing, and that is awesome. I just have to be patient. And, I know a lot of us have maybe not such fond opinions of Michael Saylor. I think that there are some good reasons for that. Michael Saylor, the founder and CEO of a publicly traded company, MicroStrategy, which Michael Saylor, he's a Bitcoin maxi. He's crapped all over XRP. He said that XRP itself is a security. He's got heavy Bitcoin bags. I get it. But this is why, like, Bitcoin maximalism, it's the most toxic aspect of what it is to be in crypto today. It's absolutely toxic. It's destructive. It's not grounded in reality. And so Michael Saylor's living in this fantasy land where it's just Bitcoin and nothing else matters. Completely BS nonsense, but he's got heavy bags. So maybe his brain's been diluted to the point where he actually believes what he's saying. It's either that, or he just is lying because it would help, anybody he can trick that'll, put some money, and then his Bitcoin bags, maybe they're worth more. I don't know which it is. I do believe that some of these maxis out there actually believe the nonsense that they're spewing, and then they keep telling it to each other, and they're in this echo chamber, and then they just start to believe it enough. It would be because they all keep saying it, and they just believe it. But so even if you have the same concerns about Michael Saylor, in which case I say, well, I'm with you, join the party. I still think that his approach to investing in Bitcoin makes a ton of sense. He's literally just purchasing whether the price is high, whether it's low. He doesn't care, whatever it is, keeps on trucking, because his company has been wildly profitable in recent years. And so the profits, you got to do something with it. And so he's just been chucking it into Bitcoin effectively. And so it has to do with his conviction on that. And it's fine. So like I can respect in fact, I do respect the approach and the conviction. And, it's certainly a measured approach. And you have to have absolute confidence and understanding in what you're doing. You have to be patient. You have to not be emotional. And so he's doing all that stuff. So like this is similar in concept to what I'm doing with all the crypto that I hold, all of it, literally. So I do it with XRP. I am doing it with my Bitcoin as well, and my ETH and my HBAR. Pick the coin. I'm doing it with all of it. And when I'm in a mode where I've got money, and I feel like it makes sense for me personally to invest money in crypto in general, and then I do that, I don't care if I'm buying a little high or a little low. I just get exposure over a span of many years. I've now been in crypto over half a decade, and I don't worry about it, because I think in the end, it's going to be a major net plus. I don't need to be some sort of wizard. I am not a guru. I don't have a financial background. I am the furthest thing from a financial guru, but I do believe that the everyday person can figure out some basic stuff, and just by putting money where it kind of makes sense and then not touching it for a really long period of time, it can be life-changing. That has historically, unquestionably been true. Certainly in crypto, so it's true in the stock market, but it takes a longer period of time and more money going in to get the types of return. But if you're talking about crypto, whew. So MicroStrategy here, Michael Saylor, been buying some Bitcoin again lately. Just announced another purchase yesterday. And I just think that this is the approach. Again, Michael Saylor says some crazy nonsense about Bitcoin and money is energy and blah, 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 blah. And then he craps all over XRP a little bit. So it's just like, nonsense coming from there. But the approach, I still think, is correct. And so check this out. MicroStrategy, this is from Cointelegraph. MicroStrategy, an American business intelligence firm, has just announced its latest acquisition of an additional 1,045 Bitcoin for approximately $29.3 million at an average price of $28,016 per Bitcoin. This news was announced in a tweet by MicroStrategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor on April 5th. As of April 5th, 2023, MicroStrategy holds a total of 140,000 Bitcoin, which was acquired for approximately $4.17 billion at an average price of $29,803 per Bitcoin. This news comes as a significant milestone for the company as it continues to invest in Bitcoin as a reserve asset. So there you go. And I firmly believe that XRP is going to substantially outpace any returns from Bitcoin in the coming years. But hey, everybody believes in different things. That's perfectly fine. He's got this thing for Bitcoin. I understand it. And technically, they're at a loss at this point, but it doesn't matter. Most of the time I've been holding XRP, I've been either at a loss or at break even. For the first few years in particular, almost that entire time, when I was in XRP, I was at a loss. And I just kept buying because I was like, yeah, but it's a short time period. And I understand that this is just how cycles go. It's not difficult to understand that very basic concept. And so I just kept putting money in. I didn't worry. As I started dollar cost averaging after XRP fell from its high close to $4, I started buying, I think, at 55 cents, and then it went down to 50, and I bought more, and then more at 45 and 40 cents and 35 and 30, all the way down. And I ended up buying it as low as 15 cents. And whether I bought some XRP at 55 cents, which I did, or whether I bought it at 15 cents, which I also did, I don't think it's going to matter that much. Given that I had broad exposure averaging out to about 25 cents, I don't think it's going to matter, assuming XRP does blast off to, $5, $10, $15, $20. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't pretend to, and I don't make price predictions, but assuming it gets to a much higher level, which I think is probable at some unknown point in the future, unless something changes that's horrific that I couldn't foresee, it doesn't matter that I bought some higher and some XRP lower. It doesn't matter. And so that's why this data, I thought it would be fun to share with you from this website. This is a cryptorank.io. And it just kind of paints that picture of, there are going to be some down months, and there are going to be a bunch of months in a row where things are really, really down. Like, again, 2018 wasn't so hot. 2022 wasn't so hot. But then you look over a longer period of time, and it's like almost every month averages out to be up. Isn't that telling? Doesn't that mean that this is a reasonable approach? Because I sure as hell think so. And so MicroStrategy, having only been in Bitcoin for so long, it's not surprising that they jumped in at a time where, anywhere in this range is going to result in them, depending on when you're looking at their portfolio, it's going to look like they're either a little bit down or a little bit up. Is that surprising? I just think back to my holdings of XRP for the first, in particular, 2 or 3 years. It was like, yeah, it didn't look so hot for a while. But now there's going to have to be substantial sell-off for me to ever be at a loss ever again, which, it's possible it could happen. I think my average buy-in is about 25 cents. So the idea of it going below that, if we get some very scary news and it spooks markets with the SEC v Ripple, maybe that happens. I don't know. Now, that's not going to scare me, though. I'm just going to continue to hold. That's what I've decided for myself here. But I'm just making the broader point that in the end, for those people that are sufficiently patient, it ain't gonna matter. And that is what it takes for the people that achieve the life-changing wealth. Yeah, you have to put in enough, which is subjective because everybody has different goals. But the harder part is you have to do nothing. I know that sounds silly, doesn't it? It's so hard to do nothing. Well, it is, because people get their emotions and they're like, I need to get out of this. I got to chase this other thing that's taken off. That's what people do. But in the end, I'm just looking at data. And the data tells me that I'm doing the right thing for myself. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.